All right. I will allow a couple of minute or two and see if someone else is joining from the Wedding CEO Club or from our Facebook group to the stream. Looking forward to share some of my insights for email marketing, and I'm gonna make sure I can read any comments. All right. Perfect. Okay, good morning or evening, everyone. Not sure where you're joining us from, but if you are seeing this live or the replay, feel free to share where you're joining me from and if you have any questions so we can answer them. And you can always email me at Mariana at the Wedding Academy Global, weddingacademyglobal.com, and I'll get back to you with all the answers that you need. And yeah, so I wanted to share today a little bit more of information on how to creatively and effectively craft good email marketing to convert your leads into bookings for your wedding business services. This can be used for wedding planners, any other vendors, or any services, any wedding related service as well. So I'm going to go ahead with this presentation. I have a couple of notes as well to share. So I'm really excited about this. I have a lot of information and I had a lot of content to share. So I noticed that might be better to do it in a two-part instead of one. So we don't just share everything at once, which could be a little overwhelming. So first I wanted to share what are the benefits of email marketing. And you probably know this is something that's been here for a while. You probably receive a lot of newsletters or nurturing emails. So this is something that a lot of businesses are working on and they're using. And basically, it's good to you firstly you reach your audience directly to their invoice, and you're able to create some kind of personal connection with them, and of course in a really cost effective way versus the traditional marketing methods that were used a long time ago, advertising. This is for sure maximizing your return of investments, which is a great way to not only set it up, but also to send it, and all the email tools that you might be able to use to craft these newsletters or sales emails that you have will be really cost effective. Another good benefit is this email marketing consistently delivers a really high return of investment, but also allows you to tailor those messages to different audiences and segments for better engagement. And we're going to talk about that a little in one of the next slides that we have. But this is really important because you're able to um, share specific information with these leads and might be able to relate a little more versus just crafting a really generic email for everyone. Another important aspect and benefit is being able to automate these campaigns for nurturing these leads and building the relationship with your leads. And last but not least, I think it's really important to track your results and be able to improve from there. And this is another benefit that helped us a lot versus these traditional marketing methods that we used in the past. So you will be able to track very easily open rates, click-through rates, conversion metrics, and some other call to actions that you might have, and even A/B testing, which we're going to be talking about that later as well. So um, then I wanted to share some success stories as well. I think this is the fun part. Um, on average, this email marketing offers an impressive return of investment of approximately $42 for every dollar spent, making one of the most cost effective marketing channels, including social media advertising and even PR, which is great. This email marketing for wedding services has also a fantastic conversion rate and open rate. So for conversion rates, it's common to see around 8 to 12% for wedding professionals, while open rates are usually around 20 and 30%, or sometimes even higher, as engaged couples are eager to receive this information and inspiration that you'll be sending to them for their special days. So call to actions are really important here, even in nurturing emails, because the open rate is really high versus other different industries, which is fantastic. So we talked about segmentation here, and I think it's really important to craft this message in a personalized way. And how we know where to send this content to is by segmenting and getting to know that audience within this email list, right? So in the wedding industry, as well as many industries, one size does not fit all, unfortunately. So we do need to craft different messages for the audience, for the different audiences and sub audiences that we might have, different personas. So understanding your audience is really, really important. Each couple is unique and they have their own wedding or ideal wedding. Their vision, their preferences, and priorities can differ more than you expect. So, tailoring your marketing messages to address their specific needs and desires are essential for success. So, getting to know this audience will allow you to offer solutions that resonate with them even more than crafting a generic email. One of the most powerful tools in email marketing is segmentation. So it involves dividing this big audience and big email list that you have into smaller and more targeted groups based on specific criteria, and that would be kind of up to you. But what we're going to be doing is tagging these subgroups of subscribers into organized list, so you can send highly relevant context to them, to that specific tag, and for that specific needs and for that specific products that you want to offer. Not all leads might need the same product as well, right? So for example, you might want to segment by wedding season, if it's a summer wedding, if it's a winter wedding, if it's nature, if it's indoors, outdoors, if they have any style preferences, if they have any specific budget, you can segment into two different budgets, or locations if you have different wedding planners and you want to make sure that you're segmenting the content by the location of the wedding. The main reason, as we said, for segmenting is tailoring that content. So segmentation will allow you to craft these personal messages, and it will bring better results than just sending generic emails, for sure. So you can create this content that speaks directly to the interests and needs of each segment. And I know that this might sound like a lot of work, but if the results are good, it might be actually very much worth it. So I think it's really good to keep in mind that it's an extra effort, but it will definitely offer better results. Just checking if you have any questions here. This level of personalization will increase this engagement and conversion rates and open rates and everything in between. So understanding this audience and using segmentations are really important principles for this effective email marketing. And it's about basically delivering the right message to the right couple at the right time, and ultimately guiding them towards choosing your wedding services over your competition, right? And while we're talking about, well, segmentation and audiences, but we haven't actually talked about building the email list. So I brought a couple of ideas that you can use. You can pick one, you can use all of them, that would be up to you. But these are good and cost-effective ways to grow your audience list organically without having to involve any advertising. Just always good when we get started, right? So there you go. So embedding opt-in forms on your website is one of the most cost-effective and most effective ways to grow your email list and make it easier for visitors to subscribe and to get access to your information and to your expertise. So it's really important for you to place this form strategically on your homepage. Maybe you can also add it to your blog posts or any other relevant pages that you think your audience might visit often. It's really important to offer good value in exchange for their email addresses. This could be an ebook, a checklist, exclusive resources related to the wedding planning, a webinar. There could be millions of ideas, but we want to make sure that we're offering something so valuable that they can't believe that it's so easy to find and it's for free. So it's a no-brainer for them to opt in. Another good idea is to promote your newsletters or freebies or forms into your social media platforms. So make sure you use call to action buttons and posts to drive your followers to subscribe and also share the benefits of subscribing. What are they going to get in return? That's also really important because they want to know. It's all about them at the end of the day, right? They want to know if they're sharing something with you. They want to make sure they know what they're getting in return. Another good idea is hosting contests or giveaways that require email signups. And this could be a good, fun, engaging way to boost your list. Make sure if you're using this strategy to use a price that is very relevant to your target audience, and you know that the couples will definitely take advantage of that price. If it's not high enough or if it's not even related to weddings, they might not be interested in it. So also, last but not least, I like to encourage my subscribers to refer to friends and family as well. It's really easy to do and it doesn't cost anything. Offering these incentives for successful referrals can be a win-win for everyone. So that doesn't hurt at all. Building a large email list is one thing, but building a quality list is very different. So we want to make sure that the number is not as important as the quality of those email addresses, right? A quality list is composed of engaged and genuinely interested subscribers. And this will help you because these individuals are more likely to open your emails, click on your call to actions, your content, and engage with that content and convert into paying clients. So it doesn't really matter if we have millions of subscribers on our email list, but that subscribers are not actually engaged into our content. Perhaps they already got married, or perhaps they're actually not in a location where you're offering the services, or maybe they don't want to get married. So we don't really want to just invite everyone, but we want to make sure that the email list that we have doesn't have to be big. It could be 50 subscribers, could be 100, could be thousands, but we want to make sure that the email list is engaged and is interested in the content that you have to share, so we don't affect open rates and click-through rates that will ultimately affect your deliverability. So in terms of that, we're talking about call to actions, and call to actions, it's kind of the most important part of the email, right? We want to make sure that the call to actions are very clear, and we want to use action-oriented language to we want to make sure it's clear, it's concise, and it's easy to understand. We want to make sure that the language leaves no room for ambiguity. So you can be using phrases like get started, learn more, book now, and tell your readers exactly what you want them to do. Excuse me. So, and then we want to use action words, right? Incorporating these strong verbs such as grab or discover or join or unlock could be creating this sense of urgency and excitement, and will definitely be more effective than vague wording here. Also, we want to encourage them to use immediate call to action words, such as limited time offer, today only, don't miss out. These phrases will actually prompt them to act quickly because, well, we know it's a big investment and we know that we don't take this lightly. But creating these call to actions will help you to create that sense of excitement and urgency and hopefully get to convert those leads quicker. We want to make clear what your readers are going to be getting by clicking your call to action. So if you're offering a discount, for example, your call to action could be save 20% now, or just be clear of what they're getting when they click on that button, and there's no room for confusion. And the last one is the button design. And well, we want to make sure that these buttons stand out from the rest of the content. So it's good to use contrasting colors, use a prominent position. Maybe you can make it a little bigger than the text as well. The size is really important there to make sure that it's easily clickable. The location is also really important to make sure it's clear. Having more than one call to action, it's a little confusing most of the time. So I would also recommend having only one call to action. So it's clear, it's easy to find. And if you can have it in more than one place, would be easier for them too. So the leads don't have to keep scrolling up and down to find the call to action, which that's not convenient, right? All right. So I have a lot of information to share. So I think we're good and we do not have any questions yet. All right, so I want to talk about the subject line now because we've been talking about the call to action, but that's kind of the second step to opening that email, right? We want to make sure that the call to action is, well, let's share. It's clear. So first they open the email and second they go to your call to action. So the first impressions matter here. The subject line is your first opportunity to make a good impression to your leads. So craft subject lines that intrigue, excite, and evoke curiosity mostly. So people don't even think about opening or not. So while you want to pique interest, don't sacrifice clarity because the subscribers should have a good idea of the email content, right? We want to be informative, but we want to be concise. We don't want to send a really long one that usually gets cut off also. So we don't want to do that. Also consider the recipient's name for a personalized touch. Sometimes you can even personalize other aspects, such as the date of their wedding, the season of the wedding, and you can map out those on your email marketing tools. Tailoring subject lines based on the recipient's interests or behaviors can also enhance engagement because they know they're talking to them, which is always a great feeling. And subject lines also should have or could have a sense of urgency for those that evoke that emotion. Usually tend to perform very well. Using phrases like we said before, last chance, exclusive offer, or don't miss out, can prompt action, which is always what we're looking for. Ensure that this subject line aligns to the email content. Misleading subject lines can lead to unsubscribes, and having those leads have a little bit of trust issues in the future. Another thing I left there as an important note is not being afraid to use in the A/B testing. So the A/B testing is basically a way to experiment with various elements, including subject lines. It could be also call to action buttons. You can use the same subject line, but you test A/B test different copy in the body of the email or different call to actions, wording, colors, whatever you find useful for you. So it involves sending basically two versions of an email to with different subject lines in this case to a subset of your subscribers. So let's say you have your tagging, you have your subscriptions, and all your email is segregated, but we also want to grab from that segregated tag an AV test. So we're gonna do an AV subgroup. That this is usually really easy to do on your email marketing tool. So you don't really need to do it manually. You don't really need to segregate it manually. This will happen directly on your email tool. So you don't have to worry about that part. But the good thing is like you can use two different subject lines that will help you identify which resonates best with your audience or what performs best to keep using it in the future, which is always really useful. Sometimes we forget to do this, and it usually provides really good results. You can test different approaches such as humor and seriousness, subject line being short or long, straightforward or mysterious. That's going to be up to you. And it's always good to test out on different campaigns and see what resonates best with your audience. All right, so this is what I wanted to share today. But the good thing is that I wanted to let you know that we're having a part two of this. And because I noticed that it's a massive topic, and this always helps our audience and to our business as well. So there's more content coming up, and I kind of crafted a list of things I would like to discuss in the next call. But if you have anything else that you'd like to learn about the email marketing section, send me a message or add a comment, and I'll make sure to add it to my next presentation. I added on my list a couple of other things I would like to share with you, such as automations, best practices for email design, how to design a mobile responsive email, which is really important because now over 70% of emails are being opened on mobile phones. So we need to make sure that they actually look better than desktop. And we want to be able to track the success of the email marketing, which is really important as well, and how to use promotions and incentives. And of course, I'll be sharing my recommended tools for email marketing. So if you have any other questions or anything else you'd like to share with me now or when you're watching the replay, feel free to send me a message or email me at mariana@weddingacademyglobal.com. And I'll make sure to not only answer your question, but I will be talking about that in the next live so we don't miss anything. All right. Thank you so much for your time. I'll be seeing you all very soon. Bye bye.